everyone, welcome back. It's Angela. I'm here today to share with you my reference journal that I'm putting together for our exciting envelope projects that we're going to be filling it up with. So I have a really easy idea. I hope you're going to like it. It is a reference journal. It's not an actual journal that we would normally write in, so I've really used a little bit of recycling here, so I'm hoping that you all can find what we need to make this today. All right, so I thought, well, what could I do that could make it simple? Because I know that I do have a lot of subscribers and viewers that are new to journaling and would like to get into this as well. So I've really made it as simple as I possibly could. Right, so what you're going to need is some fabric. So I've got a piece of fabric here. I'll measure it quickly for you and tell you the size. This is based on an A5 journal that I'm going to make, so really a 9" by 8", and you'll see why. So this is 10 3/4" wide, and this is 10.5", so 21 inches across. Okay, so 10 inches is 25. So you're looking at 76.5 centimeters that way, more or less. And of course, this way you're looking at about 27.5 centimeters. Right, so you want a piece of fabric, that will depend on the size of journal you're making. I am basing this on an A4 piece of paper, but of course, the American letter size is slightly different, but it shouldn't really affect the measurements that I'm giving you here today. So you want something to cover your journal with, that's that. Then you want to have something that you're going to line the inside of your journal with. So some paper. I'm using this paper that comes from my Tea Avocado and Lace Digital, so I like that. I thought it went really well with this. So that's what I'm going to line the inside of mine with. This is 160 GSM or 60-pound weight, so it's fairly thick. So I'm happy to use that. You could use scrapbook paper or anything else that you have. All right, so then what I did is I've taken one of these. Now, I don't know if you can see this. This is a lever arch file that I've had lying about, and which is one of these over here with this mechanism. We're going to use this. We're going to cut this down, and that's what I'm going to use. So I've managed to find two. This is this one, and I used another one I had that was well used. So go and find one of those lever arch files as well. I did look online because at first I was going to buy a smaller one, but you know what, it's so expensive. I thought to myself, that's just crazy. We all have these kind of files around at home that are often just thrown out. Make use of it for a reference journal. All right, the thing I like about this is, as opposed to a normal journal, is that I can actually take out the page that I want to take out. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to make the pages with a bit of reinforcement down the side in a minute. All right, so this together with this is actually going to turn out into looking something like this. So that's what we're going to end up with. All right, so that's going to be our reference journal. And if I show you inside, take off the ribbon. It's going to look like that inside. Can you see that? Right, so that, which is lovely. I quite like that, really. I'll probably end up decorating and making little bows on the back here, but I'm quite happy with that for my reference journal. It's quick, it's easy, and I could make quite a few for other sort of projects I want to put in. So one for pockets, one for tucks, that kind of thing. So I'm going to use this one for my exciting envelopes, and I'm going to make the other one I make with you today for pockets and tucks and things like that, and I might make another one for tags or something like that. So getting together my sort of reference library here for all the bits that I'm usually end up using in my journals, which I think is a great way to store your ideas. So yeah, just battling with the bow here. not battling. I suppose you could have a fixed closure with this if you wanted to. So, you know, it just depends on what you want to put on your journal. You could fix it here, as I said. So I'm not going to struggle with this too much because I might look at it in a little while. All right, so I've just got a little book plate on the front there as well. Right, I'm going to take this away. I'm going to get the file out and give you a couple of measurements on how I put that together. So I hope that you can see everything that you need to see here. What I'm going to need now is, and what you will need is a ruler and one of these Stanley knives. You can find these on Amazon. They are on my Amazon favorite list. I use this a lot in crafting, so it is really easy to use. But any craft knife or this kind of Stanley knife would work. I've just taken the fresh blade here because you're going to need to use a bit of pressure, but it wasn't overly arduous. All right, so before I cut that, what I want to just share with you is a couple of measurements. Now, because we've got this mechanism here, I want to just centralize it for the width. So I need my finished item is 9 centimeters, so I've measured 9 inches, sorry, that way, which equates to 23 centimeters more or less in that direction. And from this edge here, this fold line, to where I'm going to cut, that's 8 inches across. That takes into consideration the mechanism. And if I just take a page that I've decorated here, you can see that it goes to the line, but of course you need to open it up and your page will be about there. So you have plenty, just the amount of space you want from the edge of your journal. All right, so that's the way it's going to look there. All right, so it's 8 inches from this fold line here to the cut line, and there, of course, on both sides of your journal. So you'll do exactly the same on this side here, and then of course the width of 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably speed this up, but I will be cutting off these pieces just like this. So I'm lining this up like this. I've used Sharpie on here, but you know, whatever you need to use. And then you just want to be very careful with your fingers and do this really slowly. Use a metal ruler. If you use a plastic one, it's going to shear the plastic ruler. I have learned from experience. Okay, so we're doing this really slowly like this. I've got it into the cut line now. So this one's got a metal rim on the edge, so I don't need to go all the way down. But you do want to just take your time. And I can feel I've got through there now. So this will take a bit of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off, go right around, and then I will meet you back here when I've cut it all off. All right. Okay, everybody. So I have cut everything through here. And now it's just a case of pressing that all along. Hopefully this is all. If you have a bit that's not quite loose, then just gently, and please be gentle, don't want to cut your fingers off here, just loosen it with your knife. There we go. So I've got that all cut out, and this bit can go in the bin unless I think of something else to do with that. Okay, so there we go. That actually didn't take me 5 minutes, but just please do be very careful with your fingers. Okay, so there's the base for what we're going to use now. So what we want to do now is I'm going to be using my Beacon 3-in-1 glue. I'm going to use a bit of a old brush here, and I'm going to then put on my fabric. So what you want to do here is you want to lay your fabric out. So let's get that done like that. Right, so just checking I've got that all in frame, and I'm going to start on the right hand side here. Now what you want to do is just make sure that you've got it lined up properly. All right, and I'm also going to grab some of my clips here. These are the quilting clips that I've been talking about, and these are great for this kind of thing. All right, so we've got this sort of centralized here on our fabric. So what I like to do is I like to start with this side. So I'm going to just hold it here in the middle. I'm going to turn it up, and I'm going to put a fair amount of glue on here. Now, you don't want to overdo it with the glue, all right? And I say that because you don't want, if you don't have a nice thick fabric, and this is pretty thick, this is almost like a lightweight, this is an upholstery fabric. This is a vintage Sanderson upholstery fabric, so I'm not too worried about the glue coming through there. But if you have something that is thinner, just make sure, number one, that it's not going to show through the color of your file folder, especially if it's a dark color like black or something. You know, just be mindful of that. Now I just want to even this glue up just a little bit. It doesn't really do that very well with a 3-in-1, so just make sure that you've got plenty of it on here. All right, and not too globby if you can help it. So I'm just covering up the areas here that are... The good thing about this kind of nozzle is that it doesn't allow it to come out too thick, so that's a benefit. All right, so I've got that, and I think I'm pretty happy with the amount I have on there. Now I've got that in place. You can doubly check before you stick it down, that you've got it evenly dispersed here, and then I'm going to just stick it down. And I've got green Sharpie all over my hands already, and nails, and I've tried to get it off, but I'll deal with that later. That's later's job. All right, so you've got that there. What I like to do now is just turn it over and just smooth that out with my hand. Hands are the best tools for this. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to turn this around. I like to work on the right, probably because I'm right-handed. Well, I'm actually any-handed, but I like to do it on the right. Okay, now I'm not worried about the hole. We're going to cover that up with fabric and paper. You're not going to see it, and you don't need to worry about this either, because well, it hasn't affected mine, and I'm quite happy with the way it's worked out. So we're going to have a full file here. It won't be putting pressure on that side of things. You can pull off this plastic pocket if you wanted to, but because it's pretty much flattened on here, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just making sure that I get the glue all over, and I like to run a little bit down on the sort of fold line as well. Okay, so we're back to this now. Make sure that's nice and smooth, and then open up your file like that and just press that down. Okay, and again, turn it over, hold it there, and make it nice and smooth. I was working with the sari earlier, and I've got fluff all over the place. There we go, so that's looking good. Now we'll do this bit here, last bit. Just get the glue in here. Right, so we'll do this last bit here. I'll talk rubbish while I'm doing this. I do want to thank you all so much for your kind comments, as always. I have actually reached 15,000 subscribers, and I must tell you, ladies, besides thanking you all very much, I don't know how that happened. It really happened, and so very quickly. Christmas, I was at 12, and I don't know how I got there. So, you know, it's just over a year since I hit 1,000 subscribers. And that was in January, so it's just nearly a month later, and I've got 14,000 more. And I just want to thank you all so very much, because it's all down to you. And I mean, I know subscribers are not an indication of anything, but it's just so lovely to see that you enjoy the videos and you like to come back, and I've got to know quite a few of you through your comments, and that's just lovely. And it's been such a wonderful experience, especially during the lockdown period. I've really you've really been a lifesaver for me, so I do want to say thank you so much. I mean, we've had such a long lockdown here in the UK and we're still in it, but there is hope. I'm glad to say. Alright, so I'm going to run a little bead of glue down just the middle bit again. Go close to the edges. So thank you guys, that's just amazing. I couldn't have done this without you. You really do motivate and encourage me to carry on and produce more and more videos for you, so thank you. Right, I'm just pulling that out a little bit down there. Rub that nicely. And then, again, I'll just put this flat, I think. Sorry. Like that. And then just pull it how I want it. Right. Okay, that's the good thing about Beacon, is that you've always got some time just to do that. Okay, right, so there we have it. Okay, right, that's looking fabulous. Okay, sorry, bumped the thing there. Right, what we want to do now is we want to start covering the corners. Now the way to do this is to cut close to the edge and then just cut the bulk away like that. This is the most, I would say, the most difficult part of it all is getting the corners right. But if you're not great at corners, you can always put metal corners on. But just remember, this is a learning curve for a lot of you, so practice makes perfect, and this is your reference journal. It's not like you're going to be, you know, it's for you to use and refer to. So this is going to house your ideas. All right, so that's what we're going to do with this. Right, so I'm going to start over here, and it is a messy job. So it's just a case of running some glue, first of all, along the very edge, just to make sure that that's going to stick really nicely like that. All right, I like to do that, and then around the corners, and then put quite a lot on the bit here, and then just run a little bit, not too much, just that it's going to hold it down. Right, so we'll start with this bit first. Right, so just keep moving the fabric and pulling it so it's tightish like that. All right, and now what I like to do here is I like to just put these on, a couple of these on. Just keeps it where I want it for a while, especially when it comes to the corners. All right, I'll just move that one up a bit. Okay, now the tricky bit, and I'm going to do a piece at a time here. So let's don't know which piece. I'll start with the middle. So we'll start with the middle. Run a bead of glue along the edge there, like that. Quite a lot of glue there. We'll come back to that one, and then put your glue along there, like that. And put a fair amount of glue on this end because this gets fiddly now. So we'll start with the middle bit and hold that over like that. And the whole time I'm pushing this fabric to the top. All right, leave that 2 inches there. We'll come to that in a minute. All right, so I'm going to just put one of these here. If you don't have these, use ball clips, use pegs, use whatever you have. These have got such a strong grip. They are fantastic. I really recommend them. You can find them on my Amazon favorites if you're interested. Okay, now this bit here, taking that one off, what you want to do is you need to tuck this in. So maybe with your bone folder, I turn it over, tuck it in there, turn it over, push that in. If you've got a bone folder, use that. And then I'm going to push it over with my glue. All right, so I'm going to then just put, I'll show you that again on the other side so that you know what I'm on about. It is a bit fiddly, I suppose. All right, so put some more glue there. All right, stand still. And then we'll just put that back on there like that, which is the stronger side. Yeah, that's the one there. Okay, so there we've got it there. Right, let's do that on this side. So we'll do this again, get the glue. The fabric is fraying a little bit, but you know, once you've covered that with your runner beader glue, sorry, go like this. Once you've covered the fabric with your paper, you're not going to have a worry with the fraying, are we? Okay, just go across to the middle like that. Oops. Right, so we want to just grab a couple of these, and again push it over and push with your thumbs, keep pulling it down like that. I'm going to just put this side of the bend, and again just like that again. All right, and then the same over here, keep pulling that down. Put one of these here and just get one of these ready for the corner. Right, so now again you want to take your bone folder, or taking my thumbs in this case, push that in. I turn it over slightly like that, and I push it in, and I find it easier to do it with my nail. This is probably because I do it with my nail all the time. And then tuck that in like you're doing a present, and then pull that down like that. All right, and then just manipulate it with your fingers until you've got a corner that you feel is pointy enough. All right, so push that in, use your bone folder, push it, pull it down like that, and I can show you hopefully that you can see that, hopefully. All right, and put on your clip or ball clip. These work just as well, but they're more expensive. So all right, so we've got it coming along there. Looks all good. I'm happy with that. Right, now we're going to do the very last side again. So I'll probably speed this bit up again. Now it doesn't matter whether you do this piece first or that piece. I just do whatever I want really, and it has the same outcome. Just keep pulling this out like that, and as I say, pull it down as you're going, keep it nice and taut like that, and I can feel it going as I hold it, and then those clips are just perfect. So we'll do this bit last, and then again. Now this covering of a cover, whether it's a lever arch folder, or whether you're using this as a cover to cover your base, a hardcover journal, the principle is the same. So, you know, you could use this method as well for making a journal. Obviously you wouldn't have this in the middle, you'd have the bit where you're going to have your spine. So the principle of covering with fabric is the same. All right, so we've got all of that done, got that nice and ready. Okie doke, so now we've left to do the top. Okay, so let's just do that once again. Okay, so now you just want to make sure that this bit's all right, and put on a couple of these just for the moment. All right. Okay everyone, so I've gone and washed my hands, so I feel better now. It's time to remove these clips, so we can do that and just put them to the side. We'll be using them again in a minute. So just take these all off. Great tools, these, for so many things. I love them. Okay, and now you can close that up and you can see that you've got a really lovely cover. Okay, so I'm loving how that's turned out. Now don't worry about that bit, even though that's going to close like that. We're never going to have it close down like that. You know, the way things are, at the very least it's going to look like that. So it's not going to really go through there. Now I've just noticed I've got a little bit here that needs just a bit of glue. So that will be that. And now we're going to put on our paper. Okay, so let's measure up the paper quickly so I can show you how I did that. Right, so as I said, I'm going to use these 3 pieces here. So I'm going to start off by doing this middle piece. So what I did there is grab your pencil, and what I did was I pushed this piece, and I think I have to go, yeah, I could go that way, could go that way, I think so. I pushed this piece right up into this edge over here, so this side of the mechanism. All right, so I go right up and against there. I've got this centralized, and then I want to just measure. Here's the edge of my fold. So where's the bone folder gone? I just had it. Here it is. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is, this is right up against the edge like that, making sure that it's lying straight. Pretty much is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just find the sort of humpy bit where the fold line is for the file, and not with a point, but just this bit here. I'm just running this against the fold line there, so I know I can see what I'm doing, and we'll do the same with this as well. Oh, don't move. Very gently, like that, and do it more on the inside of the fold, just so that you can see where you are working. This will happen a lot better once you've stuck it down, but you just need some kind of an indication here, because you just want to take it about 1 inch and cut this off. All right, so from there I'm going to just use my trimmer quickly. So just going to put that down there. From that fold line there, I'm going to measure 1 inch and I'm going to cut it off. So more or less, it's not an exact science. So there we go, like that. All right, so that's going to be our middle piece over here. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I need to measure a piece that's going to go on this side, and I think I'm going to move it a little bit further along, so I can use the same edge here, and that pretty much will cover everything I need to do. So the rest of my piece is going to be sufficient for me to line it up like that, and then that will, you do need this to go on top of this piece. All right, so that like that, that like that, that's all happening, so that's easily done. Right, now all that we want to do is this side, so take another piece here of your paper, and I think this time I'm going to have this bit going further down. No, I'm going to have it like that, so let's have that then. Right, so what I want to do is this becomes tricky now. You want to measure, let's just see, well this piece I think will suffice, but that's the right size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another one of these out of using the left side's piece as a template. So I'm going to just make a mark there like that, So this will go this side, and then this one will go the other side. Right, so just get that up here and cut that off. Right, okay, don't need the trimmer anymore. Now becomes the task of fiddling. Right, we want this to go right to the edge as much as possible, like to the edge there. All right, now it's got to just tuck a little bit underneath this flap, because this will go right to the edge of the mechanism there. All right, so it does need to go ever so slightly there, like that. And what we want to do is we want in our work out where this bit needs to lie. So you want to get it, first of all, you're going to do some measurements here. All right, so what we're going to do is we need to ascertain the equal distance on each side here. So I'm just using that as an example. And then where's my pencil? Here it is. I'm taking my ruler, and this was a fiddly bit, but this is how I did it. Get my paper where I want it first of all, and I think that's about it. Let's just check with this bit here. Yeah, all right, so then what I did was I took my ruler and I went, of course you're going to move the paper, Angela. I don't think these clips, I tried this last time, I think they're just too short. Oh, they might work. So let's try that. And let's try it on this side as well. Okay, that will just hold it in place a little bit better. So I'm going to lift that up just to get that out the way. I'm now putting my ruler flush against the edge here. I'm going to make it, you see there's on mine, I've got a little bit of a lip there, a little bit. I'm going to just take the ruler onto that lip there, like that. And I'm going to just run my pencil along that line. I just need to see that it's 5 centimeters on my ruler here, or I think that's 2 inches. All right, so I want to measure 2 inches to start. So 2 inches and possibly a little bit extra just to fit under there, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. And it is scary, this. It is scary, but ladies, just remember, like I keep telling you all, this is just a piece of paper, and 1 inch, 2 inch. If we go wrong, well, I've got another spare piece of paper. All right, now I'm going to join this up here like that, because what I need to do is just cut out the rectangle, and it is rounded, so you've got to bear that in mind. All right, so I'm going to start with that, which is what I think is the size there, and then I can cut back as I go, because I do want it to move slightly over, so I've cut it on the narrow side more than anything. Okay, so this will be a slowly job. So let's just cut that out. Now remember, you want to round these corners because they rounded there. Okay, so I'm just rounding them like that, and then the same on this side like that. All right, so we take that piece there. So I want this to go over that bit there like that, and that's so far so good. I just need it to go a little bit further because that needs to go over. All right, so a little bit more. So I'm going to just cut it a little bit further in. That very scientific method, this, very scientific. Okay, so far so good. I think that's where I want it to be. All right, so might want to move that up a little bit, like that. Now on this side I could cut it just a little sliver wider. Now if you didn't want to see if you've got like a dark color, this kind of a color that's not matching with your paper, you could always paint it with your gesso or something, you know, or paint, or put masking tape down around the edges or something. You know, you could do that. But I'm not going to bother. As I said, this is just a it's a reference journal, so I'm not being pickety here about things. Right, looking good. I think that's about where I need to be. Yeah, pretty much. Just want to check that this is going to be all right for my bit here, that I can cover it. Yeah, and I think I can, so I'm quite happy with that. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I just want to make this one slightly rounded. This is me being ridiculous, because I want it perfect, but you don't need perfect. Right, let's grab the, just grabbing my Distress Oxide here. And this also hides a multitude of sins I have since discovered. So we're going to just do this so that it looks like it's meant to be like this. You know, I'm not worried about the edges, they'll be covered. And then I'm going to just distress the edges here. So it looks like it was meant to be like this the whole time. Right, now you can round the corners if you want. It's up to you. I'm not going to bother because these corners are not rounded. So there we go. Now, before I stick this down, if you want a book plate, then you're going to need to put it on before you stick these pages down. Alright, so that is something to bear in mind. This is going to be on top, so I'm going to just distress this one here. Alright, so we'll put a bit of a book plate on here in a minute. There we go. So there's that one. Oh, we're almost done with this, so that's exciting. Just get this all ready. Now you could always put in a pocket here, whether it's now or after. Whether you're gonna, if you want to sew a pocket on, then sew it before you put this piece down. I'm not going to put a pocket in because I'm going to make notes and things on the actual pages that we are going to use. Alright, so that one's going to go there, that one's going to go in the middle, and that one's going to go over here like that. Alright, so we'll have it all lined up like that. But before I do that, as I said, I want to just put on a book plate. Alright, so where did I put the book plates? Here they are. Okay, so I've got this, which is as old as the hills. I've bought this, knowing from the currency on here, I've bought this well over 12 years ago. Alright, well. So I don't even think this is something that Tim Holtz does anymore, but you get book plates all over the place. Alright, so I'll go and see if I can find this, and if not, I'll find something else, because I am going to order some more for myself. Right, so you can't go wrong with book plates. They're always useful. Now I've got two little brads that come with these ones, which is nice, but you can buy brads separately as well. So let's just grab the top one in here, and this one I'm going to put on the front. So we'll move these papers out. I'm going to put this over there like this, and the way I do this is I put a little bit of glue on here first of all. Alright, so because this has got an opening you can slide in your paper, I do put a little bit of glue on this to hold it in place. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to put it right here, and I want to just make sure that it is centralized. So I think that's about it. It just gives me I think that's it. Right, so it's in place now. I'm able to better put these little holes through, and I know it's not going to move, so I'm just going to grab my pokey tool, And I'm sure you all know how to do this, but in case you don't, I am now just going to make a little hole through there and there. Don't put this through your fingers. Right, like that. And then I'm going to just put these little brads through here. So there's the one, and here's the other. Now I will put in a little right, and then in a minute. All right, so there's the one, and then here's the other. Now what I do is here, I do just like to take my masking tape for things like this, because the masking tape, it's just going to prevent it poking through the paper. So I just do this. It does work for me. So there we go. So there's our book plate on there, as you can see, and that's looking really ready to put in a little word, and I'll slide in something there. So it might be pockets, tags, or whatever else I'm going to do, and our corners are looking really good too. Not too bad. Right, so just put that away, and now we're ready to stick this down. So let's start with the awkward one, and once we've got that side down, we can then line up our pages across the top there, because that's important. Well, I like it to be aligned. So we're going to take this. You want to run some glue right, it doesn't matter which glue you're going to use, I'm just using this one. Put glue right at the edge here like that. You want to get this as far over as possible, and be mindful of keeping this even and even here. So it's got it all look the part. That looks right there. And then take your bone folder, pull out the little bits, and then with the point of your bone folder just work this close into your edge here. There we go. All right, and that way you'll get it stuck down nicely. Run your any area that you find is not sticking, make sure that you just tuck that in there. And I see that I needed some more glue here, so we're going to just put some more down. You got to love this beacon. Right, and then again just run that all the way down. Okay, so there's the worst one done. If you got this far, ladies, you've done well. So right, now we're going to do the other side. So we're going to do this side now. So hopefully that's in camera. Right, so that's the way I want it. I want it like this, and this is tricky because now we've got to just make sure that we're going to line everything up. So I'm just putting this here as a guide, no more. I'm not sticking it down, but I want to just have a guide here so that these things all line up across both sides. So I'm going to just clip this in the middle. Hopefully it'll stay, just so that when I go to put it down, that it is going to line up. All right, so just using those as a guide. So I'm going to put down my glue now. so I'm gonna just get this where I want it to be, like that, and then I'm going to just check that is where I want it, so I can just check there. Alright, so we're going to just be able to run our hands over that now. Okay, and then somewhere under here, my faithful bone folder. Okay, see, and you can't even see those bits from the, can't even feel the bits underneath the masking tape, so that's great. Right, now we're on the home straight. We're going to stick down the middle bit. All right, so again, going to run our glue all over here, and just want to make sure that this bit is stuck down nicely as well. Okay, so let's run the glue all over here. Okie doke, so we want this with the wider side on that side, and now we can just get this matched up on this side and press it in to this bit here, lining up those ones first of all. And before we push this down on the other side, go and get your bone folder and run it across the very edge of that mechanism, like that. There we go. And now we want to just get that along that edge there, and of course that one there as well. Okay, so we want to just do that with our fingers, make sure that that's nicely in there. Got glue on my fingers. Right, and then of course we want to line that up with this as well. Okay, and again, don't use the point, use the edge there. Just run that into your fold line, both fold lines. Okay, now you don't want to be opening this until this is dried nicely. Okay, don't open it up because you want it to stick nicely down here. You want it to attach itself and leave it for a good hour. All right, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler when you have dried it. So I'll just show you, and then you're going to get your ruler in here and you're going to edge it up slowly like that. All right, and then it'll come right once you've done that. Okay, so we've got the base of this all done. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one to dry for a bit. I'll use my other one. I just want to show you and talk you through what I'm going to be doing for the pages that go in here. All right, so I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay guys, I'm back here now. We're going to have a look at what we're going to do for the pages. Now, because this is a reference journal and we're going to be referring to this quite a lot, more than you would most journals that you look at, I do want to make the pages pretty sturdy. Also because we are going to be putting them into a file with a lever arch mechanism, you want to make sure that those are not going to break off. All right, so what I've decided is I'm going to use a very bland base. Now, it's not everybody, which some of my subscribers have pointed out to me, that is able to get along with tea stain paper. Now, if you are wanting to use tea stain paper, that is a great base to use because you can make notes on it and it's neutral, and anything that you choose to, any pattern you choose to go with it is a great it's a great base to use. All right, but not everybody's able to get along, and a lot of people are new. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my digital kit, because what I have done is, and I'm a person that likes a very light tea stain, so I have got a tea stain page. I'm hoping that that comes across. It's like a very light tea stain, and it's what I like to use in my journal. So that's one of my tea stain pages. That's a digital version. You can see on the back, that's the white paper. Okay, so I'm using thicker paper, 120 GSM. So I think that's about, I'll have to look what the conversion of that is. So I'm using the thicker paper, but what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to fold it in half. So I'm going to do this like that. All right, and I will probably end up gluing that, or most probably. Now what I'm going to do with these, so I will do that with, I'm going to use this one as well because I can write on it. It's also neutral and I like this one. It's a great one. So these three all come from my tea, avocado and lace set. So that one, and I've got this one as well, the avocado one, which I made as well. It's also one of my avocado stain pages. So I've got all three of these. So depending what project I do, I can pull out any one of these. All right, so what I'm going to do is, if for example I'm going to make one of the envelopes and I'm going to use lavenders, then I'm using a scrap of paper. So this is from chapter 1. What I'm going to do here is I want to reinforce the edge here. All right, so I've worked out, I think, that I want to have, I'm going to do it in centimeters and then I'll work it out. I think it's 4 centimeters, like that. And 4 centimeters is 1.5 inches. I'm going to take my trimmer, like that, and I'm going to measure this side, 4 centimeters, like that. Put those aside, and I did this with my planner, which was great when I was using pages. And I'm going to fold this bit in half, match those up like that. All right. Use the bone folder. Just love these bone folders, like that. And then what I'll do is I probably will just lightly distress it because I am just like that. You don't have to do this. I mean, I'm making far too much of this, I think, probably, but it's just part of the fun, isn't it? So get that all going. Right, so what we want to do now is I want to stick this in here. All right, so that's going to end up going on the edge here. All right, so I will probably put some glue in here, and I'm going to probably just use my, no, this isn't going to be the one. I think I'm going to just use some art glitter glue. It doesn't matter which glue. I just want to put it on the edges, on the top and the bottom, the sides, let's say. All right, so just a little bit. Come on along the sides. You could stitch this. I might end up doing that. It just depends on what. My glue's a bit. Okay, so we've got all of that going on. Let's just put the little. That's better. So I've got that all going on. We want to just join this up nicely. There we go. That's going to give me a really sturdy back and front page now, like that. And then what I want to do is just stick this on. So I'm going to just do this like this, and on the edge. All right, and now I'm going to just, this is going to reinforce the edge of the page, like that. Okay. Right. so now I've got a really sturdy page like that, and now I'm able to punch in there, and then that will be able to give me a perfect page to go in. Now, I don't think I've got the punch I've got here is a 6-thin punch, which is not what I want. So I'll have to go and find my other punch and make 2 holes in there. But what I've got now is a really sturdy edge, and it's decorative as well. I've got a perfect area to stick on any one of my envelopes, and another side as well to stick on another one. All right, so, and also I can make some notes in here. Now, depending on the project, I might want to add in a pocket of vellum or acetate. I might want to add in or just stick the envelope straight on here, but I think I'd probably want it loose. So I'll probably have some kind of a vellum pocket or something, or an acetate pocket that I would put on there. So I'm not going to decorate these up front. I'm going to do this once I've made the project, so that I know how I want to attach it to this before I then put it into the book. And that's why it's so nice to have these as separate pages with a lever arch attachment, because you're able then to just take out this if you've stuck it down or whatever you've done, and there you have your project, and you don't have to lumber the whole file on your desk. All right, so that's my way of doing this, and I'm going to cover a whole lot of these and just make them like this. So I'll do that with these and these, depending, or you could just do it with a pile of these. It's up to you. And then I'll make the page as I'm going. So with this project, I'll make something that matches probably in with that, but you don't have to do that. Use your scraps and just put them on the end there to make this up. And if you don't have tea or coffee stain paper, you've got a digital now that you can use, or a couple that you could use in your book as well. All right, so just to grab the other one, this is the one I made initially. So this then will fit obviously slightly inwards because it needs to fit on those things there, but you can see that that's the perfect size for the page. All right, so I'll just have to go and find what I've done with the punch. My daughter must have taken it, knowing her. All right, so that's going to be what my reference journal looks like, ladies. So you are welcome to come and follow me. I hope to be making the very first project during the week sometime, so probably my next video. All right, so thank you guys ever so much. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments box. Let me know what you think of this idea. Go and grab out those old lever arch files, convert them into something beautiful that you're going to use instead of having them looking empty and standing around in your rooms. All right, so go and get them and make them pretty with stuff that you've got available. And I'm going to see you very next week, in the very next video, which is probably Friday or Saturday, depending where in the world you live. Okay, everyone, thank you so much as always. Love you all. Thank you for being so amazing. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.